are these people?
And again, Colin, you got any? You've been sitting there for a little bit. Go ahead. Go ahead. I'm gonna let you have the mic.
I just have a question for you guys, and you can answer it however you want. But like, I just been thinking about this a lot, just in terms of like Amazon workers directly, and just, you know, the idea that you guys were fired and that hasn't been spotlighted at all. I think especially in mainstream media, you know, in terms of like what's happening, or I think mainstream media would mention it unless they have to, you know, but generally your stories are not, you know, highlighted at all. So I have a couple of questions, like, how can people, and it doesn't have to be you necessarily, but I think Amazon workers in general, like what do you want people to know, like just generally in terms of like the reality of working for Amazon? And then like, two, how can people, again, support Amazon workers in general? It doesn't have to be you guys necessarily, but like, I think, you know, just how we can show solidarity to you guys in terms of what you've been through and how your stories are not being, you know, elevated into our mainstream consciousness, or, you know.
Yeah, I would believe that everybody should, who wants to empower Amazon workers, you need to get in the same spaces as those workers, the same online spaces, and you need to pay attention to campaigns that are going on, whether it be a small campaign that isn't very publicized, like maybe the one in Atlanta, or, you know, it's really important. And as soon as you start getting that momentum going and getting the word out there, it will spread. It will spread, and especially if you know any journalists that you can point to those campaigns. And, you know, some tactics, like when I was fired, like having a bunch of people trying to get Chris Smalls to actually put some acknowledgement towards the fact that I've been fired and throw some public support behind me. It you know, that still didn't work, but I got like a shit ton of people to start tagging Chris Smalls to try and get some kind of acknowledgement and support behind me.
Right.
But yeah, that's the thing. You have to put pressure on the media. You have to go and keep track of these campaigns. There's an excellent resource called hotlaborsummer.com where you can go and track all of the organizing that is going on in this country. So, you know, Starbucks workers, Amazon workers, railroad workers, all of it is there.
I would say, you know, we're doing it right now. Like appearances like this, and it seems like you're planning to continue this and push the awareness of what you know, what the Amazonians are going through, the organizational campaigns and the processes that, you know, where they're at. That, and then also, you know, we're in 2022. Social media is so prevalent. If you know, sharing and that you know, that type of exposure, it helps. Also, you know, just networking and what you know, anytime you hear of something like what happened to Matt Luttrell up in Kentucky, you know, if you may have, or maybe there might be somebody like you, Indy, in Kentucky that's local that has, you know somebody or has resources, but it's really going to take a community effort. And we've had a few, Albert, our VP, he was fired over, you know, his over prescribed medicine. And the thing about that is, you know, we've all pitched in, we've used the connections. I think that's very important. And maybe that's, you know, we admire what ALU has done. You know, they've done the impossible, and, you know, they're one of the OGs in terms of starting up this movement. But I think what's really important is, you know, to sustain and keep that, you know, level going, you have to come through. I remember we had a meeting with Chris, and there was a lot of talks about hedging those risks. And Amazon is actively trying to fire and get rid of, they call it trim the fat. They're trying to get rid of labor costs and fire employees, put them out on the street. They do not care. You have a lot of Amazonians that, that sleep in parking lots. They take crazy commutes to work using public transportation, and they're not even letting them in the building until 15 minutes before your shift. We have winter coming, where they got to sit out and wait outside the building. So they're really trying to get rid of people because they overexpanded during COVID. So where I feel like it's a real critical focus for ALU, AU, for C.A.U.S.E, for the folks in Bessemer, DWSU, everybody out here that's part of this movement, the Teamsters, to come through for those people and be a union, even before you get the NORB or whatever your views is, your end goal is with that. Be a union and come through for those people that need it, that are getting unjustly fired at Amazon.